Ooh. Recording. We're recording?
Yes.
We're live.
Live.
So we have
Going.
15 minutes and 30 seconds because we have another dog join.
Yes.
So yeah, welcome back to Coffee Break with Groomers.
Minus coffee.
We've forgotten coffee again. So this time, it's just Jordan today, so Abby is still going upstairs. We haven't met Abby yet. We will do that in due course. We thought we would go over some holistic grooming stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we like to focus on. That's why I guess we're trying to do things differently, but
Yeah.
holistic grooming. So that's kind of what you introduced us into.
Changing the ways. Yeah.
Changing the ways.
Yeah. Making the whole environment upstairs way less stressful for dogs. There's a lot of places that I've worked in a lot of places where essentially you're on a conveyor belt. As soon as one dog comes in, 10 dogs come in, and then sometimes they're put in crates for upwards of 8 hours a day, where they have a couple of
Wait, so
breaks.
dogs will stay there all day?
Yeah, literally all day, from 8:30 until 4:30 when they're picked up. And they'd have a couple of pee breaks, but essentially they would be in a crate.
Would people be paying? Is that like
day.
I know it's not day. I know that's definitely not daycare. That's
Yeah.
almost like treated like daycare. Are people using that as like a?
I guess some of them were. Yeah, if you're working, if you can drop your dog off at 8:30, don't have to pick them up till 5.
It's free daycare as well.
It's free daycare. They
Yeah.
come back smelling nice, looking great,
but not necessarily
it's
having
free
a good time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
stressful. Yeah, there's so many different sounds. They're confined to a small area. They don't really get a lot of one-to-one time unless they're on the bench. Yeah, it's not. I'd be really bored if it was me.
Okay, so that's what you've seen that before. So
Yeah.
holistic grooming stems from that idea.
Yes.
Okay, so what did you think would be the core things that are important? Because obviously we can't be. There's different extreme levels of holistic grooming, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you've got. It is such a broad spectrum, and it's something that's only really coming through in the last couple of years, I'd say, or people are more aware about it.
Do you think there's been a trigger of something causing that more, or just?
I think a lot of it's from COVID as well,
Okay.
because we talked about COVID last time. COVID really did affect a lot of our dogs' mental health. It
Yeah.
affected their stimulation, their socialisation, just like us. We see it with us, where there's still people now that are nervous to go outside or go out in masks
Yeah.
because they're so scared of the virus.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the dogs. The dogs just didn't understand that there was a virus. All
Yeah.
they knew is that they could only go out for half an hour a day.
So
They were
time, yeah.
not allowed to say hello to anyone.
Yeah.
neither were their owners.
Yeah.
And the owners were around all the time. So I think when COVID opened, closed down.
Closed down.
Which one? When
COVID
COVID
opened.
went away a little bit.
Yeah.
We were allowed back out. Obviously dogs were allowed back out, and I think for a lot of dogs, going from that situation where if they were groomed, it was strictly had to be welfare groom.
Mm-hmm.
They'd come in, and as soon as they came in, we would have to disinfect their leads, collars, all of that, pop
Jeez.
them in the bath
Yeah.
straight away, and then you would just try and get through them quickly so they could go back home, and you limit your exposure, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. The place I worked at previously, when they had the crates and the kennels, I didn't really agree with it. To me, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Just get daycare, where your dog has the ability to be free, to
Yeah.
run around, have some freedom, go crazy, rather than just be confined to a small area.
Yeah, there's a real difference between a daycare and grooming. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's loud, it's small, it's panicky. So
Yeah.
many dogs will guard kennels as well, which you have to be careful for, especially if they're put into a stressful situation.
Yeah.
So when I left that place and I moved to a different salon, they operated completely differently. There was no crates to be seen. Owners had to arrive at a certain time and then pick back up at a certain time. There was no crossovers. It was very much so, you have this dog and you groom them from start to finish.
Yeah.
You put them in the bath, you just put them on your table, dry them straight away, clip them, style them, hand strip them, whatever. That is your sole responsibility. And the difference in the dogs
Yeah.
was incredible.
Okay.
It was amazing, the
So
dogs,
without that conveyor belt.
yeah, it's so much less stressful for us. The dogs way prefer it. It's nice to have one-to-one as well. You
Yeah.
really get to know their owners, and you really get to know the dog, which is really nice.
Mhm.
You get to pick up on more things that are different. It's not like someone's bathing a dog and then someone else is prepping them and then someone else is doing the styling. They're solely yours.
Yeah. And that's got to be a nicer experience because then dogs are very loyal. They kind of build a relationship with, I guess they're friendly with everybody, but they have
Yeah.
their key people who are their loyal
Yeah.
people, and I guess that's what you're doing over that process because you are spending that really intense one-on-one time with them.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And you know, grooming is, when you look at it, is quite a scary process. You know, it's a lot to expect any dog or human to sit still on a table and be okay with every limb being picked up, having pimples all over their body, being washed, having the dryer on. I mean, if you put the blaster on full speed on a small dog, I mean, that has to be terrifying. That's
what
like,
kind of speeds are these dryers? Are they pretty, do you know what those speeds are? Miles per hour?
It would be really cool if we could measure the wind.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to find out, because they're pretty powerful.
They are. I mean,
yeah.
Not that we've ever done it here. But one of my favourite things to do at our old salon is, if there's no dogs in, you get a cotton ball, wet it, and you'd put the speed drying nozzle on it, and then you'd fire it, and this cotton ball would fire all the way across the room. Like, so they're powerful. Okay. They're powerful enough to do that.
Yeah. So obviously that's an intense feeling if they're going through a stressful period and then getting that dryer is.
It's not the funnest thing, but you know, I think if there is any way you can make that less daunting for the dog or animal, whatever you're grooming, then great. If you can turn dogs around that have previously been really scared, or they're like, oh god, don't touch my feet, and instead you use loads more positive reinforcement and targeted training to help them overcome those quirks, or figure out, okay, why are they force sensitive? Are they older? Have they got arthritis? Are their nails cracked? Have they got dysplasia anywhere? I
think, like you said, sorry to interrupt, like what you said before, is you're looking at the whole dog rather than looking at their feet. So if they're limping one arm on their paw, is it something with their arm, or are they counterbalancing it or something? So it's a whole holistic look at the animal, I guess, versus you wouldn't be able to see that if it's being rushed through different people, but as you're there from the beginning, taking it nice and slowly, and like you said, doing the positive reinforcement, you're gradually seeing those things happen as well, I guess. Yeah,
exactly that. It just makes the whole thing a lot more, I don't know if intimate's the right word, it's just a lot more bonded, I guess.
Yeah, you're developing that. Yeah, you're developing that bond between yourself and the dog.
Yeah. And the whole holistic approach is just taking stress away wherever you can, which includes to us as well. Because, I mean, when you're at work, no one wants to be overloaded.
No,
it's not fair. You get burnout, you get physical pains, mental pains, headaches. There's so much hair everywhere, but if you just slow all of that down and really focus on exactly what's at hand, how can we make this 2-hour slot a really comfortable 2 hours, you know?
Both for you and the dog as well.
Yeah, you know, it's whether we have, like, you know, we have the anti-fatigue mats upstairs for us, which are great. We're going to get similar things to the dogs on tables, using, not using highly scented products so they don't affect the dogs. 9 times out of 10, if you spray some sort of fancy perfume on a dog, they're just going to go out and roll in fox poo.
Yeah, it's not what they're used to, and that's not what they'd be getting naturally.
And you know, imagine it would essentially be like spraying perfume up your nose. You're like, whoa, where is it coming from? I don't understand it.
So to go back slightly, like when we first opened the Grooming, that was one of the main things we spoke about, was like, one, how can we make this a really good experience for the dogs, and how can we make it a really enjoyable for you? Because I think there's other groomers who, not saying anything's right or wrong, I think this is just our view of what works really well for us and what we want to achieve. I don't mind blank, what was I going to say? Having that good experience for yourself, you're going to be happier, you're not going to be rushed through dogs, you've got less dogs you're going through. Each dog, it's a bit of Irish.
It's been a long day.
Each dog then gets that longer period of time where they're not rushed through, and actually it works better for us because you're not rushing through so many dogs, and the dogs aren't being rushed through as well, so it works both ways for that. Plus with all the products and stuff as well.
I mean, everything ties in. You know, I've worked places where everything is so fast paced. I mean, you get home and your brain's just going non-stop.
So as an example, so how many dogs would be like the most someone would go through, and then how many would we try and go through, but how many appointments?
I think probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I think I'd managed to groom 10 or 11 dogs in a day.
Oh my god.
And I don't really know how. When I look back on it now, I go, how did we do that? I was younger, but god damn, there's a lot of dogs. I mean, now we have probably a maximum of 4 full grooms, and then if we can get a couple of teeth cleans or nail trims in, it's spaced out a day nicely. Like, owners really good turning up on time. Usually we have 10 minutes just to go through things with owners, what we found, what we've looked at, plans we have to move forward, help them gain confidence.
And I guess by having less dogs. Sorry, I've got to stop interrupting. I guess less dogs, you get to know them better, so you're noticing things differently.
Yeah.
You're seeing if there's certain things they like more or like less, and you can kind of tweak it for them, especially.
Yeah. Like there's so many dogs that are foot sensitive. Like we do say it a lot, but it's a very real thing. And with a lot of dogs, sometimes all you have to do is feed them a treat, and as they're eating the treat, you can pick up and do anything they want to the foot. The dog doesn't care because they're eating a treat.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's as simple as that. Sometimes it's a case of picking up their other foot just to see how their movement is, how it's getting on, or using the dull side of equipment first. So if you've got your comb, your brush, and they're like, I really don't want you to brush that. If you just use the dull side, lots of calm words, high rewards, whether it's treats or lots of praise, or giving them a stroke.
So it's associating that without actually doing it. It's like associating that feeling of what it's like, reassuring it to them when it not as much different, but when that comb does go through, it's they're already used to it.
Yeah, they're more used to it, and you're taking the fear away. Sometimes it could be that, say, like a spaniel 2 years ago had a grass seed stuck in their toe. The spaniel will remember that, and they'll go, I don't want you to touch that foot because that really hurt once upon a time. Yeah. And sometimes it is just spending an extra 10 minutes just touching their foot and going, it's okay, like nothing's in there, it's not gonna hurt, like it's all cool. And I think quite often in fast-paced environments, things like that can be overlooked because you are so focused on, I've only got 40 minutes to get this groom done, I have to get it done as quickly as possible, that you miss those things, that you don't even think about that because you're so
you've got a different mindset, I guess. You're focusing on something different versus focusing on the dog. Yeah. Whereas I would hope you do, but obviously you have that time to kind of go through those things and figure those things out as well.
Yeah, and like it's saying to the owner, oh, like, has anything ever happened to their paw? And the owner go, well, actually, X, Y, Z happened. It just helps you create a mental mind map.
Yeah.
And then we put everything in the notes so that if someone else grooms them, they have access to that. Or we'll have little debriefs to say, just let you know, they're really sensitive with their ears. They've had loads of ear infections.
Is there something that you can suggest to owners? We're watching the time here, because we're on a 15-minute schedule. Do you think there's anything that owners can do to help prepare dogs to be more relaxed or associated with those things? Like if there's a dog with a sensitivity, you obviously let them know. Is there anything you can recommend as like a blanket statement with some good tips that people could take home and start to do themselves to give a more holistic approach to their dogs?
Yeah, I mean, it is really listening. Like if we say to you, they're nervous somewhere, or they're showing pain around here, it's taking that in. It's then when you get home, watching how they walk, how's their gait of movement, are they sitting square when they sit down, do they randomly just hold their paw up, is their coat changed? If none of those things apply, then it's going through positively how to change that. So picking up their foot, stroking their feet when they're tired, when they're calm, giving them treats for it. It's all at-home training.
Just getting them used to those senses of
it's lifting your dog's feet up and down and just telling them that that's okay to do. Like, don't worry about it. It's having a really good feel them all over. If they are scared of the brush or scared of the comb, if they've been matted before, it's really trying to be on top of it when you are at home. And you don't even have to use a brush. You could literally just use your phone and just stroke your dog with the end of your phone, whatever's next to you, just to get them used to having random objects put towards them from a place that's not fearful.
Scissors probably really good for their nail trimming.
Yeah, like or a pair of pliers or something, like anything that's you make that action for. I think 9 times out of 10 it's more the sound of nails being cut than
once they're actually clipped.
Yeah, it's quite a loud sound, and then it's a sensation. Like it's sort of, imagine someone pinching the top of your finger. And then there just being a really loud sound. You're quite squeamish. So that would probably scare you a little bit. No. But it's all just I think the basic thing is desensitization. It's finding an issue, or before something becomes an issue, how do you target it? How do you make that less scary?
It's association. So I think that's the outline of your tip. Is it's giving that experience of what those things are like and making it a positive
Yeah.
experience. Stroke your dog with some scissors or
Even a spoon.
A
Like
spoon.
if you like, it doesn't sound mad. Even a pen, whatever. Like
Yeah.
hold your dog's face really gently under their chin. Teach them to rest their chin on your hand.
yeah,
And just stroke here. Just stroke it with
Yeah.
something like it is just random objects coming towards dogs' faces.
yeah,
We wouldn't like it.
No.
You know, it's just you just have to put everything into basic terms to
Yeah.
understand the psychology behind it. Once you do that,
that's really helpful. And then it makes your job easier, which makes the whole experience better for the dog as well.
yeah, there's just less fear in general, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we might be nearly out.
We're out of time. Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. That was a shorter coffee break with Groomers without any coffee. We will make sure we have coffee next time. There's a timer.
Sorry.
We will make sure we have a coffee next time. I hope you all guys saw the first video. If not, that was introducing Jessie as well and how Jordan and Jessie got into grooming. We're going to delve into more topics. Again, if there's anything you want to know, like there's so much wisdom you can learn, not from myself, sadly, but from Jordan.
You have quite a lot of wisdom.
I'm guessing that. But yeah, just send us a message, comment, it really makes a difference. And if you could like and subscribe, we will keep pushing these out as often as possible, whenever there's a break. Whenever we have a coffee break. Cool. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.